That's really cute.
I think we have to extend the loop.
Oh, to cause?
Yeah.
Did you send it?
I sent it this morning. I think I can. 1 second.
Hi, Nika.
Hi.
How are you? I'm good. How about you?
Good.
Oh, cute dress.
Thank you.
Yes. Cat's dress.
Jumper.
Ooh, that's really cute.
I know it's fun, right?
That's cute. So, Chichan's social security thing didn't come yet? I didn't recall. I didn't have time. I've been so busy. Okay.
It's a little text there.
Oh, there it is. It's there.
I spit.
Oh, you just sent it. Perfect.
Afternoon, everyone. Aloha. Oh, there's like, I can't see my glass.
Is it on
blind. Yeah. It's on. Aloha, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to our spring memorial ceremony in honor of all of those who have passed before us. Thank you for joining us today. We hope that we're just really grateful that you're able to come, and to those of you who've been sending in comments and emails to us, we really appreciate them. It really helps us to want to keep moving forward and not stopping what we're doing. So we thank you very much for those kind words of encouragement. At this moment, because this service tends to be on the longer side because of the names that we'll be calling out, I'd like to begin immediately, but please note, I asked, and I know that every service I've asked all of you to please do this, please note I haven't counted, I don't even know how many, but please, as we read out the names of the churches, or names of ministers, or names of members, or family and friends, with each person that you hear, I hope that you'll be able to, if you recognize who that person is, just take a moment to say thank you to that person, or think of a fond memory you have with that person. It's one of my favorite things I loved doing when I was at the Honolulu church. Then again, we had Reverend Konko had like 750 names to read out, and so we had a lot of time to think and reflect about a lot of different people. I don't think we hit 750 at the moment, thank God. If not, we'd have to do a separate service for that. But I'm just grateful that we have all these names that we get to read out and honor for today. But when you hear that name, when you hear a specific name, please take time to think about that person. And if you want to start counting how many spirits and churches and family names, please do, because I didn't have any time to count this week. I know the number slowly has been increasing, and which is a good thing, because we're honoring those, we're honoring our foundation, which is something very important. So let's begin today's ceremony. Chido Haide, 4 sincere claps. Please open your prayer books to page 2 for the purification prayer. Purification prayer. Through the way of mediation, may our sincere apologies be acceptable to you, our divine parent. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of your divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and irreverences from past generations. Guide us to amend our way of living, to reflect your divine will with a pure, joyful, and loving heart, always one with you. Still, K-8, please bow your heads in prayer. 謹みて、ひがみ金剛大臣の御前に間を割く。今より春季霊祭執り行わんとす。教祖金剛大臣をはじめ、歴代金剛様、金剛教大阪教会、Whittier-Hill教会、浜水教会、福崎教会、Whittier-Hill教会、各教会、初代教会長、歴代教会長の音読をすがり申し、今日の御祭を使え祭らんとす。これあげ行わん、礼儀記憶5日に、滅がみ祭る信奉者もろもろ、この者もみを正し、心新たにただかしめたまえと、勘取り次恋ねぎ祭りて、かしごみもまおす。Yami Konko Daijin, I seek your Toritsugi for today's service. Today we conduct the spring memorial service ceremony. As someone without virtue, I seek to receive and cling to the virtue of Konko Daijin, the succeeding Konko Samas, as well as the founding and past head ministers of the Konko churches of Osaka, Whittier-Hill, Tamamizu, Fukuzaki, and Whittier for today's service. Today, the believers and I come together with our hearts, bodies, and minds refreshed, purified, and ready for today's service. Thank you. Now, please raise your heads. Please open your prayer books to page 7 for the Adoration Prayer. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We bow our heads in prayer toward earth rich and deep. Living amid such gifts of Kami's great giving, how happy and grateful we are. The mediation of Ikigami Gonko Daiji does not stop for a single day. The protection of the Divine Parent embraces all far and wide. The blessings of Kami flow without limit through all generations. The ways of Kami are mysterious and wondrous beyond our understanding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtues of Kami. We honor the power of Kami. Chido-kei-rei, please bow your heads in prayer. Kakemmaku mo kashikoki, ren no kongo kyo Whittier-Hill kyokai ni watsumari ujikora, imashi mo totoki kagiri naki tenchi ni michi watarase-rare, Paraoya Gami-sama no mae ni Whittier-Hill kyokai chokigawa kyoshi no kawari ni Bongo kyo kyoshi Sumiyamai kashikomi mo maosaku. On this warm yet beautiful spring afternoon, here at the Kongo Church of Whittier-Hill, your beloved children have gathered together to share our love, sincerity, and appreciation to you for the blessings, favors, and interventions we receive daily. Thank you very much for the favors you have showered upon each of the Ujiko of the Whittier-Hill Church. Many of us have continued to receive your okage from our jobs, health, and the greatest okage of all, life. We implore you to use us as your instruments of peace, to make an impact big or small on our communities, cities, counties, and countries. Guide us in our hearts and our actions to be embracing, loving, kind, and generous. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. As you're well aware, there is a war going on in Europe between Russia and the Ukraine. Civilians and soldiers are being senselessly killed, and as one Ohana, it is our prayer that we pray for this fighting to end. We pray that both sides will respect each other's sovereignty. Where there is injury, let us offer forgiveness. It is our prayer that the Ukraine people will continue to shower the kindness they have been exhibiting to their Russian brothers. From this beacon of kindness and love, we pray that more and more will stand up to the bully. And where there is discord, let us build peace. We pray that the current economic and world situation improves to enable all of us to have a happy and stable life. Please provide us the courage and faith to overcome current and future hardships in our lives. We pray for the victims of tragedies, natural and human-made disasters, to recuperate materially, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Please allow the Whittier-Hill Church to continue to be an upstanding and outstanding light, not just Whittier, but also Los Angeles County. Allow us to continue to be wonderful representatives of Kami-sama, Konko-sama, Konko-kyo, and Geisei. As we continue working to achieve our goals in our individual lives, whether it be for our occupation, studies, relationships, and personal growth, help us to remember to enjoy the blessings we are receiving every day. And we ask for your protection and guidance with every step we take. Please give us the strength to move forward in all aspects of our lives. Help us to live a Kami-centered life as we are allowed to live in the universe through your grace. This afternoon, your beloved children have gathered today for the annual Spring Memorial Ceremony, where we offer our hearts of love, appreciation, and sincerity to the departed. I ask that with each family member name, individual name, as well as the name of a church, we remember and reflect how those individuals have impacted our lives, and that each spirit's virtue be elevated, each unsaved Mitama find salvation, and all Mitama be at peace. As this prayer comes to an end, we will be moving over to the Mitama altar, or the altar for the deceased, to begin the Spring Memorial Ceremony. With our hearts as one, we shall give appreciation to those who have come before us. We shall give honor and appreciation to the foundation of our lives and faiths. We pray that the blessings and favors of today's service is granted and received by all here today and those who could not be with us. Me ke aloha pumehanna, mahalo anu ye, our beloved Ikiami Kong Kodai, Henchi Kanu Kami. Now, please raise your heads. Chido tomoni haire 4 sincere claps along with the head officiant. Chido haire 4 sincere claps. Chido haire 4 sincere claps. Please open your prayer books to page 11 for prayer to the departed souls. Spirits of those who have gone before us, you were given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your span of years. You will be remembered eternally. Your lives retold from generation to generation, honored as the foundation of our society and the roots of our families. We revere you as the ancestral spirits of our homes, our own divine spirits. We beseech you, stand by us each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami and help us to fulfill our tasks as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, enrich us, that we may never lose the way of faith, that we hand it down to old generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity within our homes. Protect us, guide us, enrich us. before I start this portion where we are honoring the ancestors, as this is the longest service that we have, especially with the reading of the names, if you feel the need to stretch your legs or stand, please feel free to do so, because I can't imagine what it's going to be like for all of you. That's why I hope you'll forgive me, because I'm going to sit for this one versus stand. Thank you. Shido Keirei, please bow your heads in prayer. 京都神道をはじめ、連の金光教ウィッティアローセル教会に、不信念なる家の御霊の神たち、関係教会、関係にある御霊の神に、With much love, sincerity, and respect, I call out your names. We offer our hearts of appreciation to the spirits honored at the altar of the deceased, at Headquarters Worship Hall, the Osaka Church, Namba Church, Takaoka Church, Kobe Church, Himeji Church, Fukuzaki Church, Magari Church, Portland Church, Whittier-Hill Church, Honko family, Kandori family, 厚く御礼申し上げます。神取十平君の御霊の神、神取下姫の御霊の神、金光大臣 wife、金光都世一子王明る姫の御霊の神、The second 金光様、金光詩人貫之の君の御霊の神、Second 金光様 wife、金光清姫の御霊の神、The third 金光様、金光節垂君の御霊の神、The third 金光様 wife、金光菊陽姫の御霊の神。The third 金光様 son、金光神聖牛の御霊の神。The fourth 金光様、金光鏡太郎の君の御霊の神。The fourth 金光様 wife、金光多宝姫の御霊の神。The fifth 金光様 son、金光秋信大井達子の御霊の神。福田 family、畑 family、川上 family、本土 family、松井 family、佐藤 family、白上 family、杉原 family、高橋 family、竹部 family、牛尾 family、御礼申し上げます。金光教芸美協会初代佐藤則夫牛の御霊の神、初代夫人佐藤孫心高照姫の御霊の神、金光教六条院教会初代高橋富江姫の御霊の神、金光教大阪教会初代白上伊谷広間道分けの御事の御霊の神、二代教会長白上道置伊谷高根の君の御霊の神、金光教難波教会初代今度逸垣藤森秋高の君の御霊の神、初代夫人、今度梅馬氏真心玉露姫の御霊の神。金光教神戸教会初代杉原勲の御霊の神。金光教福崎教会初代牛尾広美道分真柱牛の御霊の神。二代教会長牛尾小春照玉道森姫の御霊の神。三代教会長牛尾広直牛の御霊の神。金光教曲がり教会中林凛太郎伊谷広こう真道分け牛の御霊の神、中林吉野真心吉田江大土地の御霊の神、金光教鶴岡教会初代川上正夫道分け真柱牛の御霊の神、初代夫人川上美沙夫水玉道立姫の御霊の神、 金光教東京教会初代畑徳三郎東の道分け牛の御霊の神。二代教会長畑はじめ牛の御霊の神。三大教会長畑清牛の御霊の神。三大教会長夫人畑久美子姫の御霊の神。日本橋教会五大教会長畑勲牛の御霊の神。金光教サンフランシスコ教会初代畑義明君の御霊の神。二大教会長福田新子姫の御霊の神。三大教会長松井文雄牛の御霊の神。三大教会長夫人松井文子姫の御霊の神。木川ファミリー、松本ファミリー、佐伯ファミリー、田中ファミリー、怒りファミリー、厚き御礼申し上げた。木川真京赤徳万人導き牛の御霊の神。木川近江赤徳万人導き姫の御霊の神。木川鎮子の御霊の神。サンドラ初子清水怒りの御霊の神。テッド戸郷怒りの御霊の神。井川ファミリー、藤本ファミリー、厚き御礼申し上げます。井川五郎時羽牛の御霊の神。井川久代綾音姫の御霊の神。井川千代子玉つゆ枠子の御霊の神。井川咲子つゆか枠子かつゆか枠子の御霊の神。井川佐野よ元家イラツメの御霊の神。井川豊道のり五教牛の御霊の神。井川雅子照和姫の御霊の神。井川澄子の御霊の神。井川ケネヒロシの御霊の神。オフェロファミリー、アイビーファミリー、ノーマンファミリー、ウィリアムズファミリー、サンチェスファミリー、ランデロスファミリー、クエリーファミリー、フォンファミリー、ピンファミリー。エンリック・サンチェズの御霊の神。レスリー・ノーマンの御霊の神。キャトリン・ウィリアムズの御霊の神。ミルドレッド・フォンの御霊の神。レイメン・フォンの御霊の神。リッダ・フォンの御霊の神。太田ファミリー、長井ファミリー、井上ファミリー、山本ファミリー。太田俊介の御霊の神。太田花の御霊の神。太田大吉の御霊の神。太田勝田の御霊の神。太田貢ぎの御霊、牛の御霊の神。太田竹の戸地の御霊の神。太田実の御霊の神。太田義恵の御霊の神。山本善吉馬氏正義彦の御霊の神。We offer our hearts of appreciation to the spirits honored at the altar of the deceased at the Honolulu Church, Whittier-Hill Church, Hilo Church, Airaku Church, Tamamizu Church, Hongo Church, Koto Church, Hamada Church, Saga Church, Sapporo South Church, Sailaiji Church, Shiba Church, Amagi Church, Tenga Chaya Church, Wakkanai Church, and Marifu Church. Kodama family, Takahashi family, Yano family, Nishida family, Nagai family, Miura family, Sato family, Oishi family, Nishimura family, Takahashi family, Kobayashi family, Yasutake family, Shirai family, Oba family, Okuno family, Otsubo family, Nishikawa family, Kittaka family, Shimizu family, and Yugawa family. Reverend Matsuhei Katsura, Reverend Ryuemon Kittaka, Reverend Wataru Kobayashi, Reverend Masayuki Kodama, Reverend Kikue Kodama, Reverend Makio Nagai, Reverend Denzo Nishimura, Reverend Natsuo Nishimura, Reverend Aiko Oba, Reverend Masanori Oba, Reverend Shoichi Okuno, Reverend Soichiro Otsubo, Reverend Katsuhiko Otsubo, Reverend Mitsuaki Otsubo, Reverend Koki Shimizu, Reverend Iku Shirai, Reverend Haruko Takahashi. We offer our hearts of appreciation to the spirits honored at the altar of the deceased at the San Diego Church, Seattle Church, Fresno Church, San Jose Church, Gardena Church, Lancaster Church, and Los Angeles Church. Hideshima family, Otsubo family, Yuasa family, Ishiwata family, Yamada family, Okazaki family, Kandori family, Tsuyuki family, Fujimoto family, Nishi family, Goto family, Takeda family, Niiyama family, Umemoto family, Uzunoe family, Yukawa family, Ota family. Mrs. Yasoji Hideshima, Reverend Nikimatsu Hideshima, and Reverend Mumeo Hideshima, Mr. Akira Hideshima, Mr. Harold Aloysius Ryan, Ms. Michiko Pren, Reverend Bunjiro Hirayama, Reverend Haruko Ishiwata, Reverend Toshitsugu and Mrs. Toyono Kandori, Mrs. Sarai Kandori, Mr. Ken Saburo Kandori, Reverend Hiromichi Kimura, Reverend Fumi Niiyama, Miss Mei Niiyama, Reverend Kotaro Nishi, Mr. Kotaro Nishi Jr., Reverend Kamekichi Otsubo, Reverend Taichi and Mrs. Yoshie Tsuyuki, Reverend Isao and Tomoyo Goto, Reverend Kazuo Suzukawa, Mrs. Reiko Suzukawa, Reverend Sadako and Jiro Takeda, Miss K. Umemoto, Reverend Asataro Yamada, Reverend Yasukichi Yasumura, Reverend Kisa Yuasa, Reverend Michihiro Yuasa, Reverend Norikazu Yukawa, Aroyo family, Ayabe family, Mrs. Fusako Ayabe, Oyaju family, St. Teresa of Calcutta, Brown family, Fujita family, Yasuhara family, Mr. Minoru Fujita, Fujiwara family, Ginsburg family, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Hamada family, Hamasaki family, Mrs. Harue Hamasaki, Hirota family, Mr. Tadashi Hirota, Hoshino family, James Hoshino, Hughes family, Ikari family, Imano family, Inoue family, Hamae Inoue, Emiko Inoue, Kaneshige family, Kanno family, Karakawa family, Nakano family, Kawahara family, Kawata family, Mr. Sam Saburo Kawata, and Mrs. Edna Yukie Kawata, Kayano family, Kosugi family, Kuida family, Lang family, Tomio Lang, Matsui family, Tetsuo Matsui, Miyagawa family, Diaz family, Mr. Kyoshi Miyagawa, Madam Mitsuhiro Bando, Mrs. Norma Haruko Diaz, Mr. Bill Hideo Miyagawa, Mr. Richard Kazuo Miyagawa, Miyai family, Dr. Katsumi Miyai, Miyake family, Yoshiko K. Kawata, Morio family, Miss Megumi Morio, Rashige family, Nagatoshi family, Nakatsu family, Nakayama family, Mr. Jiro Nakayama, Mrs. Harue Nakayama, Unduna family, Mr. Eric Unduna, Niiyama family, Miss Harue Niiyama, Miss Fujie Niiyama, Miss Noriko Niiyama, Nishida family, Mr. Roy Nishida, Oka family, Mrs. Peggy Oka, Okazaki family, Mr. Tomomichi Okazaki, Mrs. Namino Okazaki, Mr. Masato Matt Okazaki, Mrs. Sanae Okazaki, Oomura family, Moriwaki family, and Yasutake family, Sueo Oomura, Chie Oomura, Kakutaro Oomura, Eikichi Oomura, Nobu Oomura, 次を大村 Reverend Mitsuko Yasutake Reverend Mitsumasa Yasutake 大野 family 佐伯 family 関 family Spencer family Diana Princess of Wales 杉本 family 田上 family 丹原 family 住幸丹原田中 family Tepnappa family 梅本 family Mr. Henry Hank Umemoto Urata family Mr. Bert and Edith Urata and Lani Urata Wata family Yamaguchi family Yamaguma family Yamamoto family Mr. George Yamamoto Yamauchi family Haru Yamauchi Shinzo Yamauchi Mikie Yamauchi Kiyomi Yamauchi Masae Yamauchi Yasuda family James Seishiro Yasuda Yoshimoto family Hayashi family Leah Hayashi To the revered spirits of all related people, and to all the Mitama spirits who are seeking guidance, missing, and victims of natural and human-made disasters, war, accidents, terrorist attacks, crime, illnesses and disease, and other tragic events that have happened and are happening in the world. We have gathered here with deepest reverence on this beautiful spring day in observance of the annual Spring Memorial Ceremony to remember, honor, and pray for those whom I have called out today, as you are all the foundation and support of our blessed lives. To the Mitama spirits of all Konkokyo ministers and your families, we would like to thank you for your devotion as the foundation of the Konko faith, as well as continuously supporting us here today and every day as Mitama spirits. Your virtue shines ever so brightly in our daily lives. To the Mitama spirits of the ministers of the Konko churches of North America, we acknowledge the many struggles and difficulties that you have encountered and persevered throughout your endeavor in spreading the Konko faith here on the North American continent, while clinging to Tenchi Kane no Kami's love and virtue. Your dedication and consecrated work of Toritsugi, we have been blessed in all aspects of our faith life, and we are assured of our blessedness when it is our turn to enter into the spiritual world after our passing. Please continue to guide us so that we can follow the wishes of Tenchi Kane no Kami. To the Mitama spirits of the church believers, family members, friends, and our offered names today, we are very grateful to you for your dedication in your pursuit of the Konko faith, as well as your perseverance and devotion to your family and community. We cannot help but to thank you for your love and life. As you transformed into spiritual beings, you continue to protect and guide your loved ones. Sadly, sometimes we are unable to recognize the blessings and beauty in our lives, and thus we apologize for our arrogance and negligence. However, we take this opportunity to extend our wholehearted appreciation for your contribution in our blessed lives we now enjoy, and pray you continue to guide us to keep positivity and light in our lives. You received many blessings, favors, and interventions from Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama with your physical form and are receiving them as a Mitama no Kami. The lives given by Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama have continued from you to us and us to the next generation like a mighty river. We respect and revere those lives, ourselves, and our descendants through this service. Konko Daijin imparted, quote, practice faith. Receive divine blessings by practicing faith. Then not only you, but also your grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and even further generations can receive divine blessings. Even the spirits of your ancestors will be able to rest in peace because you receive divine blessings, your practice of faith. The blessings you have received stay with you forever. Therefore, you should build as large a foundation of blessings as possible during your life. End quote. Let's keep this teaching close to our hearts so that we continue to practice faith for ourselves, our ancestors, and for future generations to come. We would like to express our gratitude to you, Mitama no Kami-sama. You are always looking over and guiding us. Thus, your workings are revealed to all of us daily. As we walk with you in life and communicate with you through prayer, we nurture the mutual relationship, that special and divine bond between us. Mahalo. We pray that bond continues to grow and shine ever so brightly. We reverently acknowledge that through the love and virtue of Ikigami Konko Daijin-sama, Tenchi Kano Kami-sama, and all the Mitama spirits, that we are allowed to live and enjoy our blessed lives, and we are grateful. This afternoon, we would like to remember and honor those who passed away in the month of March. Reverend Juntaro Nakabayashi, 25 years. Reverend Yoshino Nakabayashi, 25 years. Reverend Isao Goto, 35 years. Reverend Tomoyo Goto, 35 years. Miss Harue Hamasaki. Miss Tamae Fujii. Mr. Hiroshi Suginami. Mr. Hideo Maeda. Mr. Masato Okazaki, 10 years. Mr. Tsuyoshi Yoshimura. Mrs. Edith Urata, Shin-ai Magokoro Otoji no Mitama no Kami. Yamamoto Zenkichi Hiko no Mitama no Kami. Ota Take no Toji no Mitama no Kami. Leslie Norman no Mitama no Kami. Thank you for continuing to watch, guide, and protect your descendants. Dear pioneers and natives who are the foundation and strength of California and the United States, we acknowledge you, the hardships you endured in order to survive and create a future for the generations to come. We honor and admire your courage and determination and pray that your descendants will continue to rise up and bring pride to not only you, but your respective nations. We pray for the Mitama who are seeking salvation, to whom nobody prays for, and to those who have experienced sufferings from war, accidents, crime, terrorism, natural disasters, illnesses, and disease. We pray for their Tachiyuki, or eternal peace and happiness, with Denchi Kane no Kami's love, blessings, intercessions, and favors. We especially pray for those who passed due to senseless wars, such as the one taking place in Ukraine. We ask that you please enter the bosom of our parent Kami, seek Konko Daijin's Toritsugi, and find salvation and joy. To the beloved spirits of our ancestors and believers, as well as all the Mitama spirits, please accept the offerings placed before you today, as well as the Tamakushi as an expression of our everlasting gratitude and prayer for your workings, light, virtue, and Tachiyuki. Dear Mitama no Kami-sama, please continue to protect, guide, and enrich not just us, but also your descendants, other family members, and friends. Guide your descendants to the Hiromai for Toritsugi and healing, a renewal or a birth of their faith. We continue to pray that you will practice faith with us daily, so that our aura and light can continue to shine ever so brightly. Imashi Mitama no Kami Tachihashi. Hiyami Konko Daijin Mon Toritsugi no Mikage Komuri. Bagamichi no Totoki. Mitama no Kami. 信奉者らの不思議御霊の神たちと勘たたしめたまいて、難儀に礼拝し、慣れての人々の上に、安心立ち行きの大御影葬らしめたまい、我が根高教、北米区域、ウィッティアローシル教会を守り導きたまい、神人愛用かけよの生活運動を進め、神と人と愛をかけよで立ち行くありがたを使いを権限するとのご神願成就の役に立たしめたまえ、たまうべく、神御霊ながらに神取り付き、神導きたまえと、かしこみも申す。Now, please raise your heads. At this time, we'll have the offering of the tamagoshi. We're going to ask Ms. Miko Sanchez to offer tamagoshi on behalf of Reverends Wakiko and Kiyoshi Igawa first. Also at this time, we're going to ask Miko again to offer tamagoshi on behalf of Nancy Okazaki for her father's 10-year memorial, as well as we're going to ask Avalon to please offer tamagoshi on behalf of James Ivy for James's grandfather's 1-year memorial. We're going to ask them to do the same thing again, but on behalf of, so we have a child church, which is the Lancaster Church. So on behalf, and since the Igawa family, the Kikiwa family is a very important family, for whom without there would be no Whittier Church. We asked Miko to please offer on behalf of the Kikiwa family. And then we're asking everyone to please offer on behalf of the Ota family. And finally, we're going to ask them one last time to offer tamagoshi on behalf of all of you who could not be with us today, or if you're in Cyberland, so they're offering on behalf of the entire congregation, the two of you. Look how much goyo you're doing today. Please open your prayer books to page 14 for the ancestral prayer. Dear Mitama spirits, everlasting and integral part of the divine parent of the universe, we pray that the Mitama of our ancestors and family, as well as the Mitama of all people, are at eternal peace and happiness. To you who have gone before us, we give thanks wholeheartedly for paving the way through hardships and self-sacrifice, in order that we, who are here today, can receive all the benefits of your endeavors. To you, our ancestral spirits, we gratefully acknowledge the protection and guidance which you have bestowed upon us. We pray that you continue to protect and guide us throughout our daily lives. We pray that we realize and develop your divine virtue this and every day. Chido tomoni haire, 4 sincere claps. Oh, there's 4 people. Hi, all 4 people. Would you, if you'd like to, you can please share who you are in the chat thingy somewhere. We'd love to add you to our prayer notebook as well. So thank you. Thank you very much for attending our spring memorial service. We hold these services twice a year. And we read off the names of those who have passed away. And it's a really wonderful, I think it's such a wonderful time to really recall and to remember. One of the things I'm highly influenced, Reverend Yasuhiro Yano of the Wahiwa Church, he once shared with me that, you know, a believer got really mad at him and his wife one day and just left the church. However, he said, just because they left the church doesn't mean we're not going to stop praying for them, for their ancestors. And sure enough, he and his family have always continued to pray for his family. And similarly with this church as well, there are people who decided, no, maybe I need to go to another church for some reason or another. And what's interesting is when I look in the books, or when I look at the prayer notebooks, or when I look at the book with all the Mitama names on it, these people who have left, their names are still in there. Their ancestors are still in there. And Reverend Kyoshin Wakikoigawa have been praying to them on a continual basis. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about Kongokyo. Because Kongokyo teaches that there is something called the ultimate death. And the ultimate death is when no one, Kyoso-sama taught us, the founder taught us that we live on forever as long as people remember who we are, and they pray to us, and they talk to us and communicate with us. We live on forever. That being said, the ultimate death is when nobody prays for us. When we are completely forgotten, then we're ultimately gone. And I think that's the most beautiful aspect of this faith, is that no one gets to be completely gone. Once they've been in contact with the Kongo Church, they're constantly remembered. Today's service is really, I think, very special because I recognize some of the names in there, like Mrs. Kawata. She used to get her hair done. She used to come here to get her hair done. She was the cutest little lady ever. I don't remember her husband very well, but I think he used to drop her off here. But I don't remember her husband very well. But I remember her because I think I took her home once. So I love remembering these names when I hear them. I love Mrs. Hamasaki. I remember, I think I took her home once from the shop in Monterey Park. I can't remember what she looks like. I just remember meeting her, talking with her, and shortly, well, Mrs. Kawata was short too. And people, ministers like Reverend, unfortunately, I don't know Yuasa Sensei very well, but I've only met her. But I know Avalon has. I know Kisa Sensei. I went to Seattle once, and I remember having a wonderful coffee time with both of them, and they were really just such nice, wonderful, wonderful people, and just saying their names, recalling their names is just so amazing. In the Norito, I think you heard, I asked the Mitama to please be with us always. But here's the thing. As it was taught to me, the Mitama have a responsibility. They can be with us. Doesn't mean they're going to help us. Doesn't mean they're going to talk to us. Doesn't mean they're going to do anything for us unless we ask. I think once we become adults, there's almost this responsibility, this now new relationship with the Mitama where we have to talk to them. We have to ask them. And as Reverend Masaki Takahashi once taught me, Mitama have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to help Kami-sama to help us. So unless we ask, unless we talk to them, unless we're saying, hey, I need help. Hey, help me, guide me, help me with all of this. I don't think, let me take the word think away. Let me scratch the word think. I know through my own experience that things won't happen. That things will stay as they are unless we ask. And I should know this very well, having moved here 3 years ago. It'll be 4 years in December. I should know this too well because I clung to my aunt's spirit. I clung to Yukawa Sensei's spirit because I had no one else to cling to. I have nobody else to cling to. I can't cling to my members in San Diego because they have their own lives. They have their own needs, and I had only Kami-sama, Yukawa Sensei, my aunt to cling to. And so I know that by having conversation, and you should see, I have conversations with them all. I look crazy. I look absolutely crazy. I'm talking in the house. People must think I'm on the phone or something. I'm just crazy. I look absolutely crazy, but I have these actual dialogues. I will have talk with them. I'll say, hi, hello, I'm home. When I'm rushing, I'm like, sorry, bye. I rush out. If I'm having a horrible day, like, I hate this person. Yeah, I get mad too. Don't worry. I'm a human being as well. And I calm down, you know. But the mitamo are there to help us. They have a goyo. And I ask you to not forget that, and to talk to them and ask them when you also need help, because they're there for us. They're willing to guide us. They're willing to teach us. They're willing to help us, maneuver us, or maybe push us out of the way, or do something a little more radical. I don't know what could possibly be. There's a young man who lived at the Honolulu church. His name, oh my gosh, I can see his face. I can't, for some reason, Tayo. His name is Sun Tayo. Literally, his name is Sun Tayo. And he was saying one time, he shared with us this story that once he was playing the guitar and he was sitting on a table, and out of the blue, he was pushed off the table. And he's like, what the hell happened to me? And then he realized something. He heard the name Sugako, which is the name of the former head minister's wife. And he thought, wait, I think something's wrong with Sugako Sensei. He ran downstairs and he found Sugako Sensei had fallen in the bathroom. If it wasn't for that push, Sugako Sensei might be dead today. You know, mitama are there to guide us if we allow them to guide us. If we have this conversation, I know that Tayo had a close relationship with Yoshino Sensei, which is Sugako Sensei's husband. And so I wouldn't doubt that this is the only way to get Tayo to, like, you're playing the guitar. Not anymore. My wife needs help. And he did. Please, I ask you to use this opportunity. We have 2 opportunities every year. And then we have every month that we can remember them as well. But I ask you to use this opportunity to renew your relationship with those who passed away. Whether it be your family, your friends, wonderful friends, associates. Keep them in your hearts and allow them to practice faith with you. Because while they practice faith with you, they receive virtue with you, toku with you. So please, I ask you to do that for the sake of not just yourselves, but also your ancestors and your descendants. So with that, thank you very much for attending today's service. I know it's a kind of long service, typically not this long, but I think it's so important to read off the names of those who have passed away. Please know we're going to go back to our normal we're going to go back to our normal schedule of the 3rd Sunday next month. But I have no control. I didn't have too much control over this, but our grand ceremony will be on May 1st, which is the first Sunday of May. So I hope you'll be able to attend. I will be sending out notifications to all of you who are on our mailing list. If you'd like to be on our mailing list, just email the church and I will make sure that email the church with your address and I will send that one out to you. But until we see you next month, please take care. Please stay safe. Please mask up. And we'll see you next month. Would you guys like to say goodbye?
Bye.
Bye.
Oh no, go top, what does this have? Right?
This one, end broadcast.